Hey Em, how are you doing? It's Miguel. Good morning. So the time now is 6 o'clock a.m. Yeah, I get up pretty early. And the date is the 13th of September. Yeah, I think it's a Thursday. So always trying out new things. Look, I got my background going right now. Yeah, got that fixed. And this video is the camera is really close to my face. We'll see how that works this time around. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I want to express my gratitude for you deciding to share some time with me. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So let's begin our little journey today by reading a passage from the Peaceful Living book by Mary Mackenzie. So I've turned to the September 13th date, and let's read and see what we got. Mary Mackenzie chose a quote. Here it is. You may find the worst enemy or best friend within yourself. An English proverb. I'll say that again. You may find the worst enemy or best friend within yourself. English proverb. So the subtitle is Knowing Ourselves, and Mary Mackenzie's passage is this. The question is not what other people think of you, but what you think of yourself. Who are you, really? Often we don't take the time to consider what we value. We think we know, yet our behaviors are often contrary to our values. We long to be heard, so we yell louder. If we thought it through, however, we would see that yelling is not an effective way to be heard. We may get attention, but we are rarely heard or enjoyed. What is your greatest need? Maybe it is for acceptance, understanding, love, connection, or to be heard. What are you doing to manifest the satisfaction of this need? Consider whether your behaviors are likely to help you succeed. When your behaviors are in alignment with your needs, you have greater opportunities for joy. And so the parting aphorism is, today, notice whether your behaviors are in alignment with your deepest values. Thank you, Mary Mackenzie. So, this idea of being in alignment with our values, I think quite often people aren't truly aware of why they do what they do. They do what they do in order to meet their needs. And I think people don't consider what needs they're trying to meet when they behave. Sometimes it's just an unconscious impulse, and it's undefined. I think defining one's needs is sort of defining one's significant needs, particularly the needs that drive your behavior, is important. I think it could be valuable. Imagine if you did a lot of behavior because you're trying to meet a need of being significant or important. I think that'd be valuable information, because my guess is that you've chosen a strategy to meet that need of feeling significant. You might have multiple strategies, and there might be some strategies better than others. You might find that being significant or important drives you to, say, start smoking. And you might feel special because, I don't know, smoking might make you feel special or unique or important or significant in life. There might be better ways to meet that need of significance. Maybe running or jogging. I know maybe that will help you feel special if you do it in a crowd of people, in front of people who you admire. That's another way to feel special. To run, to jog, and it's a healthy behavior. So, considering, a need is just a need to feel important, a need to feel insignificant. And there are probably an infinite number of ways to satisfy that need. An infinite number of strategies can be used to satisfy that need. Why not choose strategies that help make you stronger, that bring you the greatest amount of satisfaction? There are some strategies that are more effective than other strategies at helping you, say, be more significant or be more important. So, you can use health and safety and effectiveness as guides to to adjust your strategies for feeling important and significant. And, I think that can be very helpful. I think that's not well considered sometimes. Often I think for me, it can be said that I'm not precisely sure of why I behave as I do. I'm not sure what needs I'm trying to meet always. In fact, it's usually something that's just in the back of my head, in my subconscious. It also helps when I am examining other people's behaviors. It gives me insight into their behavior if I make good guesses about what needs they're trying to meet. I think that might help me feel a lot more compassion for other people. It might take away my thoughts of blame or judgment if I know that they're performing some behavior in order to meet a need of theirs. And they're doing it in a natural way. And they might be using a strategy that is helpful to them, but may be ineffective in some ways. Strategies have costs and benefits, and I might even be able to use my knowledge about how people are satisfying their needs to help them out. Maybe I can offer suggestions about better ways for them to meet their needs. Anyway, that's an interesting idea, I suppose. So I thought one thing I could do is read a book. Here's a picture book I got. It's called 10 Little Rabbits. I think it's a story that honors Native American culture by presenting some of the activities and behaviors that Native Americans traditionally perform. And I thought it'd be an interesting book to read. So let's take a look at it. 10 Little Rabbits by Virginia Grossman, illustrated by Sylvia Long. This is interesting. Here's a picture of a rabbit who seems to be weaving a basket. Very colorful picture. So, one lonely traveler riding on a plane. Yeah, look at this rabbit. The rabbit is in a comfy position. It looks like they're sitting on this bed of textiles and cloths and blankets. And look at this interesting, it's like a sled that's being pulled by, is this a dog? It looks like it might be pulled by a dog. And the dog is being cared for by a blanket over its back. It looks like there are leather ropes. Yeah, fascinating. One lonely traveler riding on the plane. It's interesting that the writer describes the rabbit as lonely. And I wonder what that means. I wonder if there's any significance to that. Why describe the rabbit as being lonely? Especially when they've got a companion, this dog here. All right. Two graceful dancers asking for some rain. Oh, look. So here are some dancers, two rabbits. They're dancing. They've got an instrument maybe, or some kind of symbol on a wand. And they've got flowers in their ears and flowers on their shoulders. And looks like they're in some kind of traditional dress. Lots of colors, garlands of pine needles. These might be shells. Maybe it's a necklace of shells. And they're dancing. They're asking for some rain. You know? Looks like they have a need for rain. I can see the walls here. They're cracking. You know, that just might be the stucco on their, say, their adobe homes with their vigas. I guess they have a desire for rain. A need for rain. So the first rabbit had a need for friendship, and these rabbits have a need for rain. Three busy messengers sending out the news. Ah, look at this. So, looks like they're on a hill, some mountaintop, and there's another mountaintop. And they've got a fire here. Smoke is billowing out, and looks like they've got two rabbits who are holding a blanket. And I think these are smoke signals. In fact, look at this. I see smoke signals here, this cloud of darkness, and then there, in the distance, near this other mountain, there are more smoke signals. So they're communicating to another group. They're sending out news. Wow. I wonder what code they're using to communicate. I wonder what kind of news they're seeking to tell the other group. They're having a conversation, it seems. You know, they have a need to express themselves. And this is a practical way to get information sent, to send and receive information. Wow. All right. 4 clever trackers looking for some clues. So here we've got, looks like rabbits who are hunting, or they're looking for things. I can see they're hunting because they've got bows and arrows. You know, they're representing Native American tribes and their search for food. You know, here's another need they're expressing, a need for sustenance, for food. And looking at the ground, this one is pawing the ground, they're talking to one another. And look at this. I'm actually noticing that there are footprints. Look at these huge footprints. There's one here, and one here. These are paw prints of some kind of animal that's huge in comparison to the size of the rabbits. Talk about courageous rabbits. How brave they are. Yeah, and how ingenious they are to have bows and arrows at the ready. Yeah. They're really looking for food. Okay, and this next page says 5 wise storytellers trying to keep warm. So here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rabbits in cozy blankets near a fire. Look how close they are, cuddled to the fire. And it looks like they're on some kind of blanket or some kind of ground, or maybe they've pushed away the snow. So it's snowy, and the stars are out. Look at all those stars. There's a million stars in the sky. And they're telling stories. Oh, man. this, for me, this picture really resonates with an environment that I can relate to. You know, just the cold night with the snow and the storytelling. They're trying to keep warm, keeping themselves occupied. Yeah, I mean, I think I can really feel this picture. 6 nimble runners fleeing from a storm. So look at the storm in the path. I can see it. You know, the sky is getting dark. And here these are runners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them. They've got their running shorts on. So they're dressed for the occasion, and they are moving away from the storm. Or, you know, they're fleeing. They're seeking out shelter and safety. And look at this one. This one has got 3 earrings in his ears, wearing traditional dress. Yeah. All right. This is 7 merry mischief makers playing hide and seek. So, look at these. I imagine they're younger folks, younger people. And these rabbits are playing hide and seek. This one has got some kind of cloth over their eyes, and the others are hiding. Some are hiding better than others. This one, not so much. This one is really good. Look at this right there in that tree trunk, that hollow tree trunk. And they're hiding amongst this, what I'd call holly or holly-like plant. And yeah, look at they're in the trees in this forest. Oh, look at this one. I didn't even catch this one. This one's underneath some branches. And they're hiding, and it's snowing. It must be wintertime. Eight patient anglers fishing in a creek. So these rabbits, look at that. Look, this one's got some kind of spear, doing some spear fishing. And there's a fish right there. This rabbit is gonna grab that fish with his hands, it looks like. And looks like they've got a worm on a hook. Probably not a metal hook, but maybe a wooden hook. There's a worm on it. And hey, here's a fish. I mean, here's a rabbit with a net about to capture this fish. And, oh look, this rabbit has got his fishing line caught in some bushes nearby. And these rabbits also look like they're dressed in some traditional dress. And what's this person doing? I'm really not quite sure. He's got oh, I was thinking that's just a reed he's got, but no, it's a reed, and it's got a fishing line attached to it. Yeah. They have a need for food and sustenance, and they're going after it using tools, very effective tools for catching fish in the creek. 9 festive drummers beating on a drum. Look at that. They're all dressed in masks. This is definitely a celebration going on. They've got sticks. And they've got, seems to be an artistic motif in the design of these masks and in this table that they're at. It probably represents some Native American tribe. And you know what? I just realized that this is not a table, but this is actually a drum. They're beating on a drum, and that these sticks, they're just not celebratory sticks. These are drumsticks. Yeah. And they're drumming on this huge drum. Look how big that drum is. Whoa. That seems like a very unique drum. All right. 10 sleepy weavers knowing day is done. So look at these rabbits, they're weaving. Or, you know, you can't really tell that they're weaving because their backs are to you. But I imagine that they're weaving. And oh, here's another decorative earring. And this one is wearing a cloth around their forehead. And so is that one. And they're weaving, they may be weaving clothing or blankets. They're wrapped in these blankets with, looks like some kind of traditional symbols on them. Decorative symbols. And they're weaving at the end of the day. And it's the end of the day. It looks like one of them is a little tired. He's leaning on the other rabbit. All these rabbits are sitting close to one another. It seems like these two rabbits are having a conversation. Yeah. They seem content and happy in that picture. Oh, look. And here are the rabbits, all 10 of them, sleeping in their teepees. It looks like they've got fire in the teepees, some fire in the teepees, some fire out of the teepees. And here's some fuel for the fire, some sticks nearby. Looks like they're really enjoying their time sleeping at nighttime at the end of a busy day. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I like that book. It was pretty atmospheric. You know, it had a lot of, it gave me a sense of what it might be like to live outdoors and to satisfy your needs by going hunting and fishing and being under the stars at night and being next to the fire and sleeping in teepees and, you know, braving the elements like the snow and the rain and the storms that are coming by. You know, that's life out there on the land, you know. I mean, it's quite an accomplishment to live in that way. I've never had to live that way, and the closest I've come is going camping, and I enjoy camping a lot. You know, it's exciting. There's a lot of change that happens in your life as you organize and, you know, make. There's a lot of logistics. Like, how am I going to get water? How am I going to get food? How am I going to stay warm? How am I going to be cool if it gets hot? And you know, it's a pretty profound way to look at life compared to life in the city, life in a modern city, in a modern home with electricity and refrigerated food, things like that. So, you know, I really recognize and appreciate that. You know, human beings have been living like that for most of our development. 200,000 years. We've been living out of doors, dealing with nature and what it has to offer, you know, its bounty, and also those parts of nature that, you know, are threatening. And so, you know, living in homes that are secure and outfitted with sort of benefits like running water and clothes washing machines, that's a really new development. A new development that has only occurred within the last couple hundred years. So, and certainly when it comes to some benefits, maybe just the last 50 years. You know, things like, you know, I don't know when the first refrigerator was created, but it couldn't have been more than 100 years ago. I mean, real refrigerator. The first electric refrigerator, it probably did get popular say it might be 50 or 60, 70 years old. So anyway, it makes me appreciate what I've got, and particularly the life of ease that I happen to have. And wow, pretty neat. What a ride that was. All right. So I think one thing I'd like to do now is talk a little bit about Mars. I remember in the past you've mentioned that you have an interest in going to Mars and possibly being an astronaut, and that is an amazing goal. And so I picked up this book, DK Eyewitness Books, and it has a subject, Mars. And yesterday I was talking a little bit about Mars's atmosphere, and we were talking about terraforming and the project that it would be, and how to do it. We were talking about solar or mirrors orbiting the planet and directing the sun's rays onto the poles to melt the polar ice caps, so that we can create running water for astronauts or Martians who live there. Anyway, I wanted to delve into that a little bit more, and I figured that we talk a little bit more about Martian atmosphere. So here we go, and let's see what this book has to say about it. The air or atmosphere of Mars is much thinner than Earth's and is 95% carbon dioxide. Earth's atmosphere is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen. The average Martian surface temperature is a bitterly cold minus 81 degrees Fahrenheit. In the upper Martian atmosphere, water and carbon dioxide vapors freeze and form huge clouds. Other clouds appear over Mars when springtime winds puff dust into the air, causing great storms. Most of the grit settles down again, but fine reddish dust stays suspended in the atmosphere's lowest level, the troposphere. Dust colors the sky a rose orange. In the polar regions, suspended dust mingles with icy vapors and turns to snowy frost that covers the ground. Wow, that really seems like an unhospitable place for human life. Let's read some more passages. I'm going to read this right here. It says, losing air in Nokian times. Billions of years ago, meteor impacts blasted away much of the Martian atmosphere. Since then, air has continued to escape because the planet's gravity is just a third of Earth's. Weak gravity allows gases to vanish into space. Mars loses more atmosphere in winter, when carbon dioxide freezes to the polar caps. But in spring, the carbon dioxide ice becomes a gas again. Poof. And then I'll read the next passage beneath it. It says, sunrise through haze. Martian air glows red in this artist's view of dawn as seen from orbit. Tiny particles bearing iron oxide float in the atmosphere, absorbing and scattering blue light but allowing red rays to get through. Mars's atmospheric pressure, the weight of its atmosphere, is only 1/143rd of Earth's. Holy cow. And here is a Martian atmosphere graphic. It talks about the composition. Looks like the composition is about 95% carbon dioxide, 2.7% nitrogen, and oxygen, carbon monoxide, water vapor, and other gases about 0.7%. Wow. Let me tell you, if we're going to terraform Mars, it's going to be quite a task. And given that the atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide, how much carbon dioxide? 95% carbon dioxide? It's going to in a way, it reminds me of the issues we're having on Earth related to global warming and an increase of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. There are technologies that humans are developing now to take the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere for the purpose of reducing the effects of climate change. Basically, we'll have to do the same thing for Mars. Somehow we'll get that technology that we're using today and transfer it to Mars to increase the amount of oxygen and reduce the amount of carbon dioxide. Fascinating. You know, it occurs to me that plants might be a good solution to this. Plants use carbon dioxide as food. Maybe that's what Mars needs, is a lot more plants. Though here's another problem. The planet's surface is really, really cold, and I'm not sure there are any plants that can survive at minus 81 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, if you think about it, water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And so the average temperature, if it's minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 80, 90, 100, 110. That's 110 degrees colder than a plant can survive in, because, you know, plants need water to thrive. So somehow the plants need to be near heat sources so that they can stay alive, you know, that their cells can function, you know, with the water that their cells contain. And so that's going to be quite a challenge. How do you get plants to grow on Mars? Sure, we can use plants to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen, but how do we keep the plants alive? We're going to definitely have to heat them up. Yeah. You know, I really appreciated this idea of the springtime winds. You know, I don't know how strong these winds are. They can't be that strong, given that the atmospheric pressure on Mars is 1/143rd of the Earth's pressure. So imagine the pressure that we experience during the day. You know, I could actually feel the air. The air is so dense that I can feel it and push it as I move my hand around. But imagine to push this much air into my face on Mars, I would have to use 143 times the force of pushing with my hand to get just to equal the amount of air that's going to my face, of gas that's going to my face. So, wow, I can imagine using like windmills to generate electricity. We'd have to make windmills like 143 times larger to generate the same amount of electricity to get energy from the wind. 143 times less dense. That's essentially vacuum. That's definitely vacuum to you and me. And you know, here's the thing about water and vacuum. When water is in conditions of low pressure, it tends to volatilize. It turns to water vapor. And it turns to water vapor relatively quick. So really, I don't know. We got problems with temperature, we got problems with pressure, we got problems with water supply. You know, it's not going to be easy to terraform Mars. We're definitely going to have to seal ourselves in containers on Mars as we live, maybe for a good 100 years. Anyway, that was fun. Thank you for spending some time with me talking about Mars and also talking about Native American cultures and talking about, you know, our needs and feelings. You know, thanks for spending this time with me, Emily. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. And I hope that you stay healthy and happy. And I'll catch you next time. All right? I love you. Peace.